Hello students, let us continue our discussion on motion in a straight line. Sorry I could not take you classes in the last week properly. There was a bit health issue with me, so I could not handle classes for you in the last week. So now from this week onwards we will go regularly. So first of all, let me revise whatever we have discussed so far. In the last session we were discussing about important derivations, isn't it? We have three important derivations. First one, those derivations belongs to the very important equations of motion. Okay, we have three equations of motion, as you know. V is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at squared, v squared minus u squared is equal to 2as, and we have derived them. Okay, we have derived two of them. V is equal to u plus at and s is equal to ut plus half at squared. And now in this session we are going to derive v squared minus u squared is equal to 2as. Okay, so the last derivation in a straight line. So once again we are going to make use of the same graph that we considered for the first two derivations. Do you remember the graph that we took? So the graph had the y-axis which shows us the velocity, and the x-axis which represents time. It's a VT graph. Okay, and in this graph the body starts with certain initial velocity and the velocity increases with time. Finally, by the end of the motion, the body will have a new velocity. Okay, and this is a uniformly accelerated motion. Okay, the body has uniform acceleration throughout the motion because the slope of the graph is not changing, right? And I hope you remember this. The initial velocity of the body is u, okay, and the final velocity of the body is v. Okay, this height is v, and the corresponding time taken by the body to cover or to complete this motion is small t. Okay, this is about the graph, but we named few things in the graph. Okay, the things are as follows. So origin is considered as O, and this point is A, B, C and D. Okay, so this is the basic graph which is common for all the three derivations. But in the first derivation, what we took is the slope of the graph, because by definition we know that slope of a VT graph gives us acceleration. Using that we derived the formula for acceleration. We took the formula for acceleration. We got a is equal to v minus u by t, and from that we again got the first equation of motion, which is v is equal to u plus at. After drawing the graph, we need to write all the considerations. The considerations that we have written for first two derivations will be carried the same. Okay, even the third derivation will also have the same considerations when we take the considerations of first and second one. Okay, so coming to the considerations, it's all the same, so I'm not going to repeat it again. It is going to be somewhat like, let us assume a body starts the motion with the velocity u, with the initial velocity u, and moves with a constant acceleration a, and in a time interval of t it gains a velocity of v. Okay, the final velocity of the body be v. That's how. Okay, or you can simply keep it as let u be the initial velocity, v be the final velocity, t be the time taken, a be the acceleration. That's also fine. Okay, after writing all those considerations, okay, this is very important derivation, third derivation, and the derivation is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Okay, they'll ask you like this: derive v square minus u square is equal to 2as, or instead of u, they can also give you v naught. Okay, so that's going to be v squared minus v naught squared is equal to 2as. Okay, fine. So both are fine. Instead of u, we can make use of v naught. You know that. Now, from after writing all the considerations, let u be v and all, we know that area under a VT graph. Okay, we know that area under a VT graph always gives us displacement, right? You should write all those considerations, they are important. We know that area under VT graph gives, what does it give? Area under VT graph gives displacement, right? So displacement is represented by the symbol S. Okay. So now from the graph, the area under this graph, area under this curve, this part, this gives us the total displacement of the motion. Okay. So if I get the formula for displacement, if I get the formula or expression for the area under the curve, then that will give me the displacement. Very similar to what we discussed in the second derivation. Okay. So total area under the curve, I'll divide it into two parts. Okay. Total area is area of two shapes. One is area of triangle ABC, right? Area of triangle ABC plus area of triangle not the triangle, rectangle. Okay, OACD, right? Area of rectangle OACD. So first, area of triangle ABC, half into base into height. Base is AC, height is BC. So for the triangle, it is half into AC into BC plus area of the rectangle OACD. This will be length into breadth, which is OD into OA, right? OD into OA. Now moving ahead, half into what is AC here? Look at this. AC is equal to OD is equal to time taken, isn't it? That's the x-axis term. AC and OD are equal. So I can put AC is equal to T. And what is BC? Look at that. We don't know what is BC directly, but you can write it here itself. BC is equal to BD, okay, total BD minus CD. What is BD? BD is this length, which is V, right? Minus, what is CD? CD is this length, which is U, right? It is somewhat like BD is equal to this length V and CD is equal to this length, okay, which is U. So now I will directly take BC is equal to V minus U. Then plus OD. What is OD? OD is time taken, T, small t, into OA. What is OA? OA is U, right? U. Okay. So this is the expression. This is still where we actually came when it comes to the second derivation also, isn't it? Even in the second derivation we came till this part. But from now onwards, in the second derivation what we did is we replaced V minus U by AT using first equation of motion, which is V is equal to U plus AT. and then we obtained s is equal to ut plus half at squared. But this time what we will do is we should take t as a common factor, okay, and then we can work with the remaining terms to get the third expression or third equation of motion, which is this, okay, right. So now so half, let me keep half as it is, into, look at this, here I have t, okay, just a small substitution, okay, let me write the equation from first equation of motion. This is all consideration, okay, not the continuation, consideration which has to be written, or let me write it in the continuation part itself, okay. And what is total area under the curve? It is S, isn't it? Total area under the curve is S. And yeah, you can take this 2 to the LHS, hence the equation becomes 2S is equal to, see, before I should take the LCM, and this becomes 2UT, okay. So 2S is equal to T times V minus U plus 2 times UT, okay. Just math part, you can understand, okay, it's just mathematics, right. So now I need to retain V minus U, okay, and I don't want UT, okay. I actually don't want any t term in the expression because there is no t term. Anyhow, I should remove all the t terms in the expression, okay. I should remove t terms. How do I remove it? I'll again make use of the same formula from first equation of motion, okay, from first equation of motion. What we have is V is equal to U plus AT, right? And from this, A becomes equal to V minus U by T, okay. It's just replacing the terms, okay, rearranging the terms. And from the same expression, I can get T, okay, is equal to V minus U by A, okay. You just send U here, it becomes V minus U is equal to AT, and then you send A. So using first equation of motion, we get T is equal to V minus U by A. What I'll do is now what I'll do is I'll put this expression of T into this expression which we have come so far. So let me name this expression as expression 1 and this expression or equation as equation 2. So substituting equation 2 in 1, which means I am just replacing T by V minus U by A, okay, in both the terms of this. I'll remove T, and instead of T, I'll put V minus U by A, V minus U by A. Clear? Okay. Let me do it. So, no changes in the denominator. 2S is equal to T. So, it is V minus U by A into V minus U again, right? V minus U plus 2 times U, once again instead of T, V minus U by A, okay, V minus U by A. Okay, so now look at this, this is multiplication happening and A is in the denominator, and even here A is in the denominator, so I can take A as a common factor from both the terms and send it to the LHS, and hence I can have 2AS, okay, I can have 2AS which is equal to, look at this, V minus U into V minus U. What is that going to be? V minus U into V minus U is going to be V minus U whole square, right? V minus U into V minus U is V minus U whole square. A, I took it as common factor and sent, that's over, plus. Now look, 2 times A has went outside and went to the LHS, u into v. Okay, so it is 2uv. Okay, plus into minus, minus 2u into u, so it is 2u squared. Clear with this? Look at this, plus into plus, plus 2uv. Okay, v is inside, a we have sent, no problem. So u into v, 2uv, plus into minus, minus 2u into u, 2u squared. Okay, so now 2as is equal to, what is a minus b the whole square? You all know that a squared plus b squared minus 2ab, right? So it's similarly here it is v squared plus u squared minus 2uv, right? Then what we have is plus 2uv. Again I have minus 2u squared, right? Now look, minus 2uv plus 2uv get cancelled. Here you have plus u squared and here you have minus 2u squared, which will give me 2as is equal to v squared minus 2 plus 1, which is simply minus 1. So v squared minus u squared. That's it. Over. Okay. So this is the expression. Upon rearranging, we will get v squared minus u squared is equal to 2as. Very important expression, which is known as equation of motion, third equation of motion. Okay, so an important derivation. These are the steps. That is the graph. So and few considerations has to be written. That's it. Okay, this question is very important. So you can expect it for 5 mark. Okay, either this question or the previous derivation. Out of these two, you will have at least one derivation for 5 mark in the final exam. Okay, very important derivation. If this is the derivation of third equation of motion. Okay, so now let us move ahead and list all the equations of motion. Okay. So, 3 equations of motion. First equation of motion. Equations of motion. These are the equations for a body with uniform acceleration. Okay, it can be acceleration or retardation, but it should not change. Okay, the acceleration must be uniform. Okay, be clear with that. So the first equation of motion is, you all know that v is equal to u plus a t. What is v? Final velocity. What is u? Initial velocity of the body. A is the acceleration which remains same throughout the motion, and t is the time taken for that motion. Okay, next. you have the second equation of motion, which is S is equal to ut plus half at square. And then finally the third equation of motion, which we took was v squared minus u squared is equal to 2as. Very important equations of motion, at the same time very easy. Okay, let's go through them, take them down. Now we will now we will discuss same formula which we have here for a special case, okay, or a special situation, I can say. Okay, so writing the same equations of motion for a freely falling body, okay, a body which is falling downwards, and for a body which is thrown vertically upwards. Okay, these two situations are very important for us, because based on these situations we can expect so many problems. That's why. Okay, so now the body will be moving under the influence of gravity, either downwards or upwards. We will take both the situations and analyze the equations of motion for those situations. First, let me take for a falling body, okay, or a body moving downwards under the influence of earth. Okay, we also say that as a falling body, freely falling body, like that. Okay, for a freely falling body. Okay, so for a freely falling body, when the body moves downwards, drops downwards, it will be pulled by the earth with the acceleration of g, right? When the body falls downwards, a becomes equal to g. Okay, that's the only difference that we see when the body drops downwards. Because see, in regular situation, assume that you are sitting in a car and you just press the accelerator, the car starts to gain speed. Okay, the car starts to move and gain speed, but then the acceleration is due to the engine's work. Okay, engine will be doing its work, and hence the body or the car gains speed. But when you just leave a body like this, the body falls down under the influence of earth. Here there is nothing, there is no engine like that which is making the body go faster and faster downwards. Here it is the earth which is pulling it downwards. With what acceleration? With the acceleration due to gravity. So A is equal to G plus G for a freely falling body. So equations of motion for a freely falling body will then become, okay, final velocity V is equal to U. Instead of A, I should now put G. U plus GT. And second, distance traveled S is equal to UT plus half, instead of A, it is GT squared, half GT squared. Okay. Then third one, Here we have v squared minus u squared is equal to 2as. So it's going to be v squared minus u squared is equal to 2gs. Okay, that's it. Very easy. You just replace a by g. That will become the equations of motion for a freely falling body. Next, for a body which is vertically thrown upwards like this. Okay, if I throw a body vertically upwards, then the body will be still under the influence of earth. When I throw it, the velocity with which I throw will be huge. Okay, good amount of velocity, but gradually the velocity becomes lesser and lesser and lesser, isn't it? The velocity decreases because earth will be pulling it down and the body will be trying to move, but the earth is pulling it down. So it goes to certain height and stops, right? And from there it starts to fall again. Okay, so one more consideration that we take here is, instead of a we will write g, instead of s, the displacement, we consider this as h, height of the body, height fallen by the body. So I should now replace s also by h. H is the height of the body. Even here it is height of the body. Okay, fine. So for a body thrown vertically upwards, okay, for a body thrown vertically upwards, look what happens is, see, it's about directions. So now the body is moving upwards and decelerating, isn't it? Because the velocity is getting decreased with time. Okay, and what is the deceleration? That deceleration is nothing but same as the acceleration, but in the opposite way. Okay, so the deceleration is same g, but this time opposite, because it is reducing the speed, and hence we will take a is equal to minus g. Okay, so it's going to be a is equal to minus g, and same s we will take h. That's it. Clear with this? So for this situation, equations of motion will be as follows: v is equal to u, instead of plus gt, this time we will take minus gt, and h is equal to ut, instead of plus gt squared, now I will take minus gt squared, minus half gt squared, and finally v squared minus u squared is equal to 2gh. Here it is plus 2gh, instead of that now it will be minus 2gh. Okay, so v squared minus u squared is equal to minus 2gh. Okay, clear with the situation? In the first situation, the body is freely falling downwards like this. Okay, and in the second situation, the body is vertically thrown upwards. It will go a certain distance and starts to fall again. Okay, so these two are the situations, and these are the equations of motion, the same equations of motion written for these two situations. Just take them down. Very important one. Yeah, these three are standard one, okay, standard equations of motion. Along with these standard equations of motion, we also have two more equations of motion which will help us in solving the problems quickly. Okay, let me give you those equations. Okay, these three are standard. Okay, along with this, we have the expression for displacement of the body in nth second. Okay, let me write the equation, then I'll explain. It is taken as Sn. Okay, displacement happened in nth second, which is equal to u initial velocity plus a by 2 of 2n minus 1. So here you might be thinking, what is this factor Sn? Okay. Okay, let me explain what is this displacement in nth second. Okay, so Sn is nothing but displacement in nth second. See, this is an important situation in numerical, which will help us in numerical problems. See, let us assume a body starts its motion with 2 meter per second speed. Okay, 2 meter per second speed, it starts its motion. Okay, when time t is equal to 0, and after certain time, okay, say after 2 seconds, the speed of the body increases from 2 to 4, and after 2 seconds, the speed increases from 4 to 6. After 4 seconds. This is how the speed keeps on increasing. 2 meter per second, 4 meter per second, 6 meter per second. So now, with the time, the speed is increasing. We call it velocity. Velocity is increasing. At the same time, the body is covering certain distance or certain displacement. Isn't it? The body is getting displaced with the time. Obviously, it's moving in a certain direction. So, let us consider certain situation where the body starts its motion from 0 meter. Okay, and at t is equal to 0, no displacement. So, at t is equal to 1 second, we find that the body has covered 10 meters. Okay, and at t is equal to 2 seconds, I find that the body has covered 30 meters. Okay, and after t is equal to 3 seconds, I find that the body has covered 60 meters. Okay, so now, and hence it keeps on going. After 4 seconds, 100 meters. Okay, so for this kind of situation, the bodies, we know what is the displacement after each second. Okay, we know exactly in this situation what is the displacement after each second. After 1 second, 10 meters. After 2 seconds, 30 meters. After 3 seconds, 60, like that. But if we are given generally, like let the body starts from rest. Okay, let the body starts from rest, which means initial velocity is 0 meter per second. And with the acceleration, okay, with the acceleration of let me take it for the same situation itself. Here the velocity is increasing. Okay, okay, 0 to 10 meters, so 10 meter per second, 5 meter per second average. Five to 20. Right. So for certain situation, initial velocity 0 meter per second and acceleration 2 meter per second square or 5 meter per, okay, let me keep it 2 meter per second square. Acceleration is given. They will directly give us like this. Initial velocity 0 or some value, acceleration 2, 4, 5 something. Now, if they ask us to get what is the displacement happened in 4th second, not in 4 seconds, be clear with this. When I say 4 seconds, I should get the total displacement from here to here, which is 100 meters, complete 100 meters. Okay? But if they ask you to get the displacement happened in 4th second, okay, for this situation, displacement happened in 4th second is 100 minus 60. In 4th second, the displacement happened is only 40 meters. What is the displacement happened in the first second? First second, it has traveled 10 meters. Okay, in the second, okay, it has traveled 20 meters. In the third second, it has traveled 30 meters. In the fourth second, it has traveled 40 meters. Following? So now, for this kind of situation, we can easily analyze. But if you are given like this, initial velocity is given, acceleration is given, then obtain the displacement in 4th second. So for such situation, when I say nth here, this is general form, and for that particular problem, n becomes equal to 4, and I should write S4. What is S4? S4 is the displacement of the body in 4th second. 4th second. This general formula, S is equal to ut plus half at squared, is for the displacement in n seconds, or I can say 4 seconds. Okay? Just to give you the idea, I am switching over to Kannada. Okay? 4 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಓಕೆ, 4 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇಂದ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಷ್ಟು 4 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮುಗಿಯೋವರೆಗೆ 4ನೇ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಓಕೆ, 3 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 3 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ 1 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ 4ನೇ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಶಾಲ್ ಬಿ ಟೇಕನ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? Sn S4, okay, n becomes 4, and instead of n I should also put 4 here. If I do so, I'll get how much displacement happened in 4th second. Let us see. U is 0. It started with 0 meter per second initial speed, and then we have 2 acceleration by 2 cancels into 2 times 4 minus 1. 2 4s are 8. 8 minus 1, 7. So, for a body accelerating with 2 meter per second square, in 4th second, it travels 7 meter. Okay, in 4th second, it travels 7 meter. Similarly, if I take the acceleration as 10 meter per second square, then what happens here is 2 into 10. Okay. 2 into 10, 20 minus 1 is 19 meter. Okay, so that is how we make use of this formula. Clear with this? This is the formula for displacement of the body in nth second. Nth second. Okay, be clear. Yeah, you get to know when we solve few problems. Okay, moving ahead, this becomes the formula for displacement in nth second. One more formula is displacement is average velocity into time. Okay, average velocity is v plus u by 2. Final velocity plus initial velocity by 2. This is the expression for average velocity. Keep it in mind. This is the expression for average velocity when the body has uniform acceleration. Okay, the body must have uniform acceleration. Acceleration should not change. For such a situation, average velocity into time. So v plus u by 2 into t will give me the displacement. These two are extra two equations of motion which are not much important for board exam obviously, but for your competitive exams these two equations will be important. And similarly you can write the expressions, these two expressions even for these two situations. Okay, just replace a by plus g and write it here. You get the height fallen by the body in nth second. Okay, so fourth one, hn, height fallen by the body in nth second, is equal to u plus, instead of a it is g by 2 into 2n minus 1. Next, similarly hn is equal to u, see here it is plus g by 2, here it will be minus g by 2, 2n minus 1. And this formula will remain the same for both of them because there is no factor of g at all or a at all, isn't it? There is no acceleration in this. So it becomes s is equal to simply v plus, not s this time, height. Okay, because when I throw the body like this, it travels horizontal and then we call it is the displacement. But when I leave the body, even then it is displacement, but generally in common terms we call it as height, right? Height of the body fallen or height of the body achieved when I throw it up. So this is going to be h is equal to v plus u by 2 into a. Similarly here h is equal to v plus u by 2 into t. Clear? That's it. So these equations are very important. Yes, we will solve so many problems based on this. You should keep them in mind. Okay? That to these equations. These are basic equations. You must remember these equations. Okay? Very easy and okay. Just memorize them. Okay? Write them again and again because they will help you if you memorize them in. They'll help you in problem solving. That's why. Okay? Right. In the next session, I'll take relative velocity. This next topic that I'm going to take, the relative velocity, is actually deducted from the syllabus. It is removed from the syllabus, but that part is important for competitives. That's why I'll be doing it. Okay, I'll do it, and then we will start problems, numerical problems on motion in a straight line. Thank you.